I wouldn't compare him to Fly. He's good. He's a good player. Sean played against him in high school.
So, Coach, what does your team learn from the last game, and do you think that they take that to heart?
Yeah, I mean they were hurt. I think they've been really good in practice. They want to be good. They want to represent this university in a form and fashion that it ought to be represented.
You take the glass half full look at that. I mean, the way you played and to still be in that game at the end, that says something about them fighting through what they, you know.
Yeah, I mean but they've been that way, you know. I mean, we've been in some hard games. We're in hard games in Cancun, and they've fought through things. You can't go 5 for 12 from the foul line, and a lot of them front ends of one-on-ones, and we had to miss 10, 12 just point blank 1-footers, and it was just. You know, you miss shots sometimes, and that's understandable, but I don't know about missing that many of those. I mean, for whatever reason, I don't think our focus was there. And St. John's that was a huge game for St. John's. That's their first game in the Garden. They want to get back, I think, to playing in the Garden on a regular basis, so that was important for them. Maybe probably more important for them than seemingly it was for us. After all these years, I'm not sure what you do. You tell them. You know, you continue to tell them, but I don't know how you know whether you get through to them or not.
When you study the tape of those 22 turnovers, how many of them were St. John's? How many of them were on your guys for being careless, I guess?
Probably half and half. St. John's played hard. I mean, they really did play hard, and they ran some balls down from behind, but there wasn't anybody on us when we dribbled off our foot 3 or 4 times.
What does it say to you that at this stage of the season it's still only 4 or 5 undefeated teams in college basketball right now? And that the 4 number ones have lost already? Probably more parity than there's been in a long time. Because? That's with a question mark. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to answer it intelligently. It's hard for me. I think what it means is that maybe the traditional powers aren't quite as good as what they've been. You know, and you don't always make shots, and you know, I think Louisville, for instance, is going through a period where they're not making shots. They didn't make shots the last game, and they were fortunate to win, and it carried over, and they didn't make shots this game. And likewise, you know, Texas Tech had just lost a couple, and they made shots, and they did that without Moretti really having a big game. So. We're still talking about, you know, 18, 21-year-old kids. How do you know when they're going to show up, when they don't show up? Again, it relates back to your team. I mean, the same way. Well, we haven't made shots all year, though. I mean, we've made a conscious effort to go out and recruit guys that we thought could make shots, and made shots where they were. And I think they will make shots, but they haven't made shots yet. I mean, we've won games because we've rebounded the ball really well, and we're getting better defending. But I mean, let's be honest with that. That game should have went to overtime. So who knows? I mean, that game, there's absolutely no reason it didn't go to overtime.
About the extended three-point line nationally, do you think that's changed the shooting any?
No, but I think our guys were trying to prove they couldn't make NBA threes. No, I don't think it makes a difference in a corner, but that's it. I mean, you know, how many times can you watch a guy step out of bounds?
It's happening this year.
Oh, it's happening all the time, and you know, I mean, we knew it was going to happen. I mean, we're sitting in a room, and that's what the coaches in a room were talking about. I mean, we're going to have to spend time making sure that, you know, and kids today, for whatever reason, they step back before they go forward. I mean, that's been in the game for a while.
I mean, is it worth it to design stuff for corner threes when you've got that little space?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're trying to teach them not to step backwards, but that's a big part of our game.
Does the extra space help it, you know, maybe design something inside? I mean, it's not a huge change from last year, but does it open up the inside a little bit?
No. I mean, that was the theory. But you know, you guard guys that can shoot, and the guys that can't shoot, you really don't guard anyone. It's not like Derek doesn't have people sitting in his lap all the time. So, I mean, I think that's a total fallacy. I think we're trying to do seemingly, and this is just my opinion, but we seemingly are trying to eliminate post play altogether. We're trying to eliminate the physicality of the game.
Coach, I guess the other day on TV, the guys were saying that Jordan was playing on a sore ankle.
He sprained his ankle the day before, or 2 days before.
How bad, was it? And, like, you know, what's he been going through this year?
Well, that's the first thing he's gone through from an injury standpoint. But I mean, he does whatever it takes. And I mean, he was in the weight room nonstop, or no, not the weight room, the training room nonstop. And it was, you know, it's sore, but once you start playing, you don't think that much about it.
You talked in the past about shooting also being a product of good passing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing that? Is that part of the problem, maybe a little bit, with what you're having to deal with?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's tough to shoot a ball you field off your knees. It's tough to shoot a bounce pass that comes in below your waist. You know, when you first started playing catch, right? Did you ever play catch? Absolutely. Okay, so when you first started playing catch, instead of turning your glove over, you just kind of kneeled down a little further so you could keep your glove up here, right? You didn't have a lot of confidence in turning your glove over.
Right.
It was a little awkward. Well, I think the same thing applies to shooting. Now all of a sudden I have to turn my hands over here to catch the ball, instead of it being here, where all I have to do is catch it here and raise it up. Now I've got it here. I've got to somehow turn it over here and not have it going this way then this way. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you force people to turn their hands over, they're not going to shoot it this way.
And you're seeing some of that.
No, I'm seeing a lot of that. Yeah, a lot.
You mentioned free throws. How much practice time was spent at the free throw line this week?
We make 100 a day. I can't. Some of them make them faster than others, but they make 100 a day.
Over the summer, you called him your most improved player through the first 7-8 games. What are you seeing out of him so far?
He was really good until the St. John's game. He didn't have a good game, but he was our most consistent guy through the first 7 games.
What kind of role is he? Is he settling into a role now, or is he just kind of filling in where you need him to, just depending on the game?
No, he's been our small forward. He's played the most minutes of anybody on our team.
Got to see from Jordan to keep him out there longer, or do you need to keep him out there?
Well, he's struggling making shots right now.
Right.
He's struggling making shots right now. And, oops, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Deuce has played well.
Yeah.
it's not a matter of Jordan not doing the right thing. It's just Deuce has, at this point in time, has played better. Now, tomorrow, Jordan will play better.
Could be good.
And Deuce didn't have a real good game in the Garden either. But honestly, yesterday the best guard on our team was Knapp. But that fluctuates from day to day with those guys.
What's Knapp doing well for you?
Nice shots yesterday. You really shot the ball well yesterday. You just got to stop turning it over, but they all do. I mean, that's been the biggest problem with our point situation. And I thought Jordan's ball security last year at the end was better than what it is now. And I don't know if he's pressing or if he says he's not. We just got to have better ball security. We can't have 22 turnovers.
I know a lot of your rotations and the way you move guys is based upon how hard they play defensively. But in the back of your mind, are you thinking, okay, I need to get guys in there that are making shots? Is that in the back of your mind when you're doing that, thinking about that?
I think that's why we played Sean. He's made more shots than everybody else. We got to score. We can't. Oscar struggled, and that was a very physical game. That was the antithesis of what we talked about in the roast committee meeting.
It looked like a game from '06.
Yeah, it was it did. It's hard to catch a ball with one hand. Somebody's got to hold the other one. We just didn't, and we didn't combat that very well. It's going to happen. It's like missing shots. It's going to happen. You have to figure out how you're still going to miss shots. And we've done that before because we've rebounded it better than everybody else, and because we've defended it better than everybody else.
You almost did it Saturday too. Almost.
Yeah. Well, like I said, should have been overtime.
Bob, good signs from McNeil, of course, but you see a little bit of Taz in that second half where he looked like himself.
Taz played, yeah. He played a little better in the second half. He played a lot better yesterday. So I think he's been banged up. I think that probably has something to do with it. But, if we could ever get Sean shooting it the way Sean's capable of shooting it, Taz shooting it, Chase shooting it, then we really got something. And then that opens things up a lot more for Oscar and Derek as well.
These guys tomorrow, what are the problems that they're going to present? What are you looking for there?
Well, Fig's a good coach. He's spent a lot of time with Frank, and they play defensively the way Frank's teams play, and they've got good players. They've got a freshman guard who's very good, creates off the bounce. He can catch and shoot. He can bounce it, and they're good inside. They're good. They're deep inside. They're not as big as we are, but they're 6'7".
It seems almost like a step from junior college to here is almost as big as from high school to here. Seems like it takes some guys sometimes a year to really get their feet on the ground. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, you see that a lot with junior college guys. I mean, and even the great ones that I had, like a Ruben Patterson, who played 10, 12 years in the league. Ruben didn't really hit stride until his second year. Some of them, Eric was that way. Eric Martin was 10 times the player his senior year as he was his junior year.
Why do you suppose that is? And they've got, usually two or three more years experience.
Generally speaking, and it's a generality. It's not a, because there are, but most of those guys don't practice more than an hour. You know, it's kind of like it used to be here. You know, you get phys ed in here until noon, and then you have volleyball or wrestling or gymnastics or whatever in here, and then then you get in, and then all of a sudden it becomes the rec center, and that's that way at a lot of junior colleges. So your window to get in the gym is much smaller than what it is when you have the facilities that we have now.